Shalom. I'd like to talk today a little bit about the concept of the Kabbalah. We hear a lot about Kabbalah. There are those that are very much in favor of studying it, there are those that are against it. But what is it exactly? Today the Kabbalah is widely accessible, if that's what it is, and you can find out all sorts of things on the internet, all sorts of books have been written, and the study of the esoteric side of Torah, of Judaism, has been immensely popularized by such people as Madonna and all sorts of surprise devotees of the Kabbalah. So I think it's very important for us to understand what this is all about. There's a tremendous amount of misunderstanding. Some people think that the Kabbalah is some sort of a black magic. Some people think that it's just some sort of man-made commentary. But actually, first of all, Kabbalah comes from a word which is associated with the word in Hebrew that means to receive. Because like other aspects of the oral tradition, the whole concept of the Kabbalah really is that a person has to receive this wisdom from a master. It's not really something that you can just pick up on your own. It's something that is so prone to misunderstanding that it's important to have a tradition, to receive this from another person. And that word also immediately lets us know that the person has to be willing to receive, because it's also about kind of setting ego aside. But let's talk about for a moment what it really is all about, because it's a very vast system, and it's a very almost overwhelming world of information. So first of all, let's talk about what it isn't, okay? Whatever it is that Madonna is into, that's not the Kabbalah. And I'll tell you why. Because you can't have a person who, on the one hand, is the very symbol of licentiousness and every negative character trait as far as debauchery and as far as a hedonistic lifestyle and immediate self-centered self-gratification. That same person cannot also be involved in Kabbalah, in real authentic Kabbalah, because real authentic Kabbalah is godly. And it is a path of holiness, because what Kabbalah really is about, it's about understanding the very vibrant and life-giving relationship that the Creator has with every aspect of the universe. And moreover, specifically, because again, everything about a Torah lifestyle, for Jew or Gentile, is about responsibility. And it's about accountability. So one of the unbelievable things that we understand from the Kabbalah is the incredible effect that our actions have on the whole universe. And this is so overwhelming. And this is, I would say, on one foot, as we say in a nutshell, the real basic definition of Kabbalah, it's the soul of the Torah. It is the inner dimension of the Torah, but what it really expounds upon is the direct relationship that the Creator has with His creation, and also that we all have with each other and with that universe. Because what we're going to see is that one of the amazing things about the Kabbalistic wisdom is that, contrary to popular belief, contrary to the Western mindset we're in, whatever anybody does is okay as long as it doesn't bother somebody else, and, two consenting adults and all that kind of stuff. Kabbalah teaches that every action, but not only every action, every word that a person speaks, but not only every word that a person speaks, every thought that a person has goes somewhere and does something and has an effect on all of creation, so that we are all kind of tied together in a very profound spiritual way, and that one negative action or word or thought that a person has can, in a sense, drag down the entire fabric of creation. So this doesn't go hand in hand with someone who represents all of the things that Madonna has come to represent. What I'm trying to say is that there is this kind of new age, newfangled pop Kabbalah culture that maybe has been popularized by all sorts of personalities that are not coming from within a true Torah tradition. And whatever it is that they're talking about and studying and doing, it's not the real thing. Because real Kabbalah is a system that will have such a profound effect on the person who's studying that it will literally cause them to undergo a change, a serious fundamental change in their character traits. And that, of course, is the goal of Torah study altogether. And never forget that. Because Torah study is not about information. And whoever tells you that studying Torah is all about just knowing more and more, even if they tell you that it's so that you'll know the Ratzon Hashem, so that you'll know what Hashem's will is, and so that you'll be able to serve Him better, and so you'll be able to have more and more information, because look at all the Sfarim there are, look at all the Torah knowledge there is, and we want to know it all, and we want to have that information. Wrong. Wrong. Torah study is not about information, it's about transformation. And a person can study one's whole life, but if it doesn't make a difference to who they are as a person, how they act, and if it can't be measured in their midot, in their attributes, in their personality, in the way they conduct themselves with other people, then there's something wrong here. And how much more so is that concept of transformation versus information? How much more so is that the case when it comes to something like Kabbalah? Because there we're talking about an incredible principle of insight that shows, again, that there is one God, that everything in this world emanates from God, and that creation is so, even though it's so complex, it's also so fragile, and it's so connected to each and every one of us. And again, I want to try to do something a little bit unusual here. I want to try to come up with a couple of statements that will include thousands of pages and thousands of volumes just in a few minutes. So if I had to, respond on, again, like the classic expression, on one foot, right, or on the edge of a fork, what is the classic definition of what we're talking about Kabbalah? You know what it really is all about? It's about the fact that God, on purpose, left the universe unfinished. And in the most remarkable manner, He gave the keys to the universe to lowly man, who was created in His image, and He gave mankind the opportunity to finish creation, actually to be a partner in creation by contributing to the stability of the world, and eventually by bringing about the redemption of all life on earth through His positive energy, through His adherence to God's will, and through His following God's ways and studying His Word. And that's really what it's all about. It's about being not a spectator, but a participant in the beautiful unfolding saga of man. And so this whole study, which can be defined as the esoteric science of the rabbis, or again the inner dimension of the Torah, or even if you want to be more precise, the neshama, the soul, the underpinnings, the spiritual essence of what the Torah is all about. But it's not a cult, and it's not about changing things into gnomes or something. It's not about black magic. It's really about becoming, as is the case with the entire Torah, it's about becoming a better person by being more cognizant of the reality of life, by being more cognizant of our role as people, as of our connections with each other and with God. And again, the deeper that we study the holy volumes of what the true Kabbalah is really all about, the purer it will help us to become purer in our motivation, purer in our thought, more separate and more aloof from the frivolity of everything that a person like Madonna represents, because what it really emphasizes to us is the immense beauty of creation, and at the same time the immense responsibility of every person to become, according to their potential, the person that they really can become. And that's not easy, because self-knowledge, and what we like to refer to as working on oneself, working on one's character traits, and dealing with the challenges that Hashem gave each and every one of us, our different issues that we have to overcome as far as our personality flaws, that's what it means to serve God. And that's the true growth that he wants to see. And it's also the secret of bringing an offering in the Holy Temple, by the way. And so just bear this in mind as we continue, and as you continue in your journey of self-knowledge and of trying with all your heart to serve Hashem and of discovering the Torah. If someone tells you that a person is studying Kabbalah, and that person is someone who is decadent in their personal behavior, or even not decadent, but even someone who isn't a perfect example of everything that you think a person should be, so then forget it and know that you're being sold a bill of goods, because the real thing is about personal transformation on the highest level of seeing the light of Hashem's presence at every moment in this world, and of seeing how each and every one of us have a part to play in the coming redemption. And again, everything according to the particular roots of one's soul, the particular disposition that someone has. There are those that are drawn to the nuts and bolts of Torah. There are those that are drawn specifically to the legal aspects. There are those that are drawn to homilies, or there are those that are drawn to all sorts of things. And then there are those that have a certain kind of spiritual yearning for a mystical revelation. And so perhaps for those people, again, it's a beautiful idea that in our prayers on Shabbat we say, V'tein chalkeinu b'toratecha. We say to Hashem, may you grant us our portion in your Torah. And Rabbi Kook, of blessed memory, in Orot Torah, he explains how every single person has a different chelik, a different portion in the Torah, and one person's soul may be rooted in a place that in order for him to really come to his potential and his joy and his clinging to the Torah, he needs to follow a certain discipline. And so for those that feel a draw to Kabbalah, they should certainly explore that. But you have to be careful and understand who it is that you're receiving from, and what it is that you are receiving. And you have to be careful not to be drawn into some foolishness and some sort of illusion that is just cool or popular for people to say that this is Kabbalah, because again, the real thing, you can tell if it is resonating the purity and the holiness and the light of the Torah, then you know that it's the real thing.